Hey, what's up guys, it's Renaldo here. So a couple of years ago, people asked me for my opinion on NHI, which is the National Health Insurance, and whether or not it would be able to be implemented in South Africa. And my answer then is the same as my answer now. There's a snowball's chance in hell that NHI will be implemented in South Africa. And the main reason for that is because it just doesn't work with our constitution. Our constitution allows people freedom of movement, freedom of association, freedom of choice, and the NHI pretty much takes all of that away. And that stance by me was confirmed today by the Constitutional Court when they ruled that Section 36 to Section 40 of the NHI is unconstitutional. And I will go into detail now through an article to explain exactly what Section 36 to Section 40 is. But what is important to note is that this is only one of many cases against NHI. In total, there are 15 cases against the NHI to say that this should not be implemented. It's unconstitutional. It goes against the Bill of Rights in this country. And ultimately, I think that most of those cases will succeed because this was the last attempt from the ANC to get complete control over the health sector in this country. And thank God they are failing miserably at it, because the one thing that I think South Africans don't want the government to mess with is our health. And if the government had to deal with our health in the same manner that they dealt with other state-owned enterprises, then we're not going to live very long. Alright, so before I show you exactly what Section 36 to Section 40 covers in the NHI and why it is unconstitutional, please be sure to subscribe to this channel. It's absolutely free. Also be sure to smash that like button and share this video far and wide, because that is also free and it'll be greatly appreciated. Alright, let's have a look. Alright, so Business Tech writes, huge win for doctors and private healthcare in South Africa. And boy, oh boy, was it a huge win indeed. The ConCourt of South Africa has axed Section 36 to 40 of the National Health Act, declaring them unconstitutional. The sections in question deal with the government's Certificate of Need, which is a licensing system for the healthcare providers in this country. At its core, the certificate acted as a mandate for where healthcare facilities and healthcare providers could operate or expand, meaning that if you live in Joburg and there's enough doctors, dentists or nurses, then they can just say, no, we're not going to give you a certificate. You have to move to KZN because that's where there's a need for whatever you are. So not only do they take your freedom away, but they also have more state control, which is what the ANC is obsessed with. And this would have just been a cluster F all around. But happily, the ConCourt said that this was unconstitutional. It advanced the state's aim of ensuring equitable distribution of medical resources nationwide, but also limited practitioners' freedom of choice in where they could operate. Under the scheme, a certificate needed to be obtained to establish, construct, modify, acquire, or continue to operate a health establishment or agency in the country. This extended to acquiring health technology or providing prescribed health services. I mean, this is complete control. This is communism, socialism to its extreme. And the ANC and various other political parties thought that this was a brilliant idea with their track record. It says enough, doesn't it? Opponents of the scheme characterize the certificate as one of the pillars of state control over healthcare and a core component of the state's national health insurance scheme. Trade Union Solidarity explained that the certificate would have given the state the near absolute power to determine which healthcare practitioners may practice where and which services may be provided. Operating without a certificate would have constituted an offense, with violators at risk of a fine or 5 years imprisonment. Ladies and gentlemen, a doctor, a dentist, a nurse, a social worker, or what else ever, wanting to just work where they live and then being told no and then continuing to do it would have made them criminals. What type of system is that? And who would want to live in a system like that? However, the ConCourt has now severed the sections of the Act relating to the certificate. Victory for healthcare workers, and this is, indeed, not only for healthcare workers, but for all South Africans. The ConCourt ruling follows a High Court ruling in 24. The High Court ruled that the certificate was not rational and failed to account for the constitutional rights of owners of private health establishments, service providers, and workers. The court also found the scheme to be procedurally irrational and lacking safeguards, violating several constitutional rights. In the matter brought by Solidarity, the Hospital Association of South Africa, HASA, and the Alliance of South African Independent Practitioners Association, the litigants sought confirmation from the ConCourt. The ConCourt confirmed the findings. The High Court declaration that the impugned provisions were invalid was confirmed, and the cross appeal was dismissed, it said. The Certificate of Need scheme is not rationally connected to the objective of ensuring transformation and a more equitable distribution of health services, the court said. It added that the powers of the Minister and the Director General of Health are not sufficiently constrained when issuing certificates of need and dealing with all other aspects of the scheme. The Certificate of Need scheme unjustifiably limits the right to choose one's profession, occupation, or trade freely. And then it goes on, but you get the gist of it. All right, so firstly, let me just congratulate Solidarity for yet another amazing victory. Like, Solidarity is truly on a hot streak, and I highly recommend that if you don't support Solidarity, that you sign up or that you start following them. I'll put a link in the first comment below where you can sign up as a member or where you can just go and follow them. But this is the reason that the government and all the communist and socialist political parties in this country absolutely hate them. It's because they are fighting for democracy. You know, the same thing that the ANC did back in the day? Well, now they only want to fight for pure state control, communism and socialism. So well done to Solidarity, and once again, well done to the ConCourt as well. Constitutional Court is on a roll at the moment, and I'm here for it. All in all, this is a massive victory, not only for South Africa and South Africans, but also for the Constitution, because we know that the ANC and the other communist and socialist parties have been trying to chip away at the Constitution. The very same Constitution that they fought so hard for to implement in 1996. And yet here we are now, and they are trying everything in their power to break the Constitution. Now, this verdict today cements it for practitioners like doctors, dentists, and nurses, in that they can choose where they want to work and how they want to work and the technology that they want to use while they work. Now, some of the cases that are before the courts right now also relates to us as the person that goes and sees these healthcare practitioners, in our right to choose who we want to go and see and where we want to go and see them, like, you know, the specific hospital. Because ultimately, the NHI want to tell you who you should go and see and where you should go and see them. Whereas with the medical aid that we have right now, you can kind of choose the hospital that you want to go to and the doctor that you would like to see. So this is a massive win for South Africa, and it cements what I said many years ago, in that the Constitution does not align with NHI, or NHI doesn't align with the Constitution, because it fundamentally takes our freedom away. And as we know with the Constitution, it's all about the Bill of Rights and our freedom of movement, association, of choice. All of those things are enshrined in the Bill of Rights and in the Constitution. So well done to Solidarity, well done to the Constitutional Court, and also well done for the hospitals and all of the healthcare practitioners that fought this battle, because one of the foundations of NHI was destroyed today. And now it's just another one or two that we have to go after, and then the entire NHI will crumble. And then that would be a massive victory for South Africa. Because if we are going to allow NHI into this country, it doesn't work in first world countries. It will definitely not work in South Africa, because of the fact that we are a third world country and that we have one of the most corrupt governments and tenderpreneurs in the world. So massive victory, well done, high fives all around, and let's get on to the next battle. But that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to smash that like button, share this video far and wide. Don't forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free. It won't cost you anything. However, if you'd like to contribute financially to this channel, you can do so by giving a super thanks. You can look for the $ below, or you can become a member to this channel by clicking the join button below. And that's all I got to say. Till later. Cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. My massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say I went my massacre. My massacre.